Vaccinations are ramping up, and it's likely that many of you watching this have already gotten your shot or will be getting one soon. And if you're anything like me, you're itching to finally get back out and travel after a year of staring at Zoom calls. With the weather warming up and the number of fully vaccinated people growing every day, you're probably ready to start booking hotels and flights for spring and summer vacations. So in this segment, I'll break down some tips and some travel guidelines from the CDC, as well as what travel will probably look like in the coming months as things like health passports and vaccine requirements begin to crop up around the country and internationally. Last month, the TSA reported the highest number of air travelers in a single day since March 15th of last year at over 1.3 million people. So you may be wondering, is air travel actually safe right now? Well, the good news is the CDC just gave the green light for vaccinated Americans to travel and has confirmed that travel's pretty much completely safe as long as it's been 2 weeks since you've gotten your final dose of the vaccine.
So today we are releasing an update to our guidance for fully vaccinated people. Specifically, the new guidance today speaks to travel. We state that fully vaccinated people can resume travel at low risk to themselves. For domestic travel, fully vaccinated people do not need to get a COVID-19 test before or after travel and do not need to self-quarantine after travel.
However, it's still important to keep wearing those masks in places like planes and buses because we still don't know if vaccinated people can asymptomatically spread the virus. The bad news is, if you were hoping to capitalize on those cheap pandemic flights, that ship has sailed, as travel prices are expected to begin rising very soon in light of the increasing vaccinations and lifting of restrictions. And let's not forget those vaccination cards. You may have heard talk of systems like Israel's Vaccine Passport or Green Pass, which allows citizens there to attend sporting events, concerts, and other public gatherings by showing a digital proof of vaccination. Even though the United States hasn't adopted a national vaccine passport like Israel's Green Pass, it's still important that you hang on to that vaccination record card if you have one. And no, not just for free donuts from Krispy Kreme. Most cruise ships and some venues, for example, are requiring proof of vaccination. New York just lifted restrictions on large venues and catered events, but will require a proof of vaccination or a recent negative test for entry. And if you're counting on a national vaccine passport, don't hold your breath. The Biden administration has said that there are no plans for a federal vaccine passport and that the government will instead assist third-party companies in making apps for COVID vaccination passes. In fact, there's already a few that are being tested, like CommonPass and New York's Excelsior. However, there's really no clear date when these kinds of apps might become commonplace, so it's important that you don't lose that vaccination card, because as of right now, it's your only way to prove your vaccination status. And while proving vaccination status isn't required for flights right now, there's good reason to believe that could change in the future, and in some cases, proof of vaccine can waive a mandatory quarantine when traveling to certain countries. You may be wondering, if this vaccination card is so important, how do I keep that card safe, and what do I do if I lose it? As far as keeping it safe goes, both Staples and Office Depot have offered to laminate vaccine cards for free. There are some caveats to this though. If you're getting the Moderna or Pfizer vaccine, make sure you've gotten both doses marked on the card and take photos of the card before laminating, as the lamination process could potentially smudge the ink and make it illegible. And if you've lost or damaged your card, you should be able to contact your vaccine provider to get another copy. So, just to recap, if you're fully vaccinated, feel free to fly and travel, but stay masked up in public spaces. And as of right now, most travel activities don't require you to be fully vaccinated, but it may exempt you from mandatory quarantines when traveling internationally. And of course, make sure to keep that vaccine card safe. The science on COVID-19 is constantly evolving, so it's important to stay informed and travel safe. Back to you, Sam.